She also heads foundations that deal with the prevention of malaria as well as cervical and breast cancer. This work is personal.
Cervical cancer and breast cancer, I championed that one because my father died of lung cancer and my uncle died of duodenal cancer, and cancer is something that eats us women.
Still, it's her music and seemingly the message that it carries that resonates with Nigerians from all walks of life.
The way she dances and the way she puts his music, her music, it's like he put it in a way, in African way.
She can be a role model to other upcoming artists, people that want to learn how to sing, because with her music she can inspire people. She can even melt the strongest of hearts.
Having composed various theme songs for major advertising campaigns across the continent and now working on her third studio album, Omawumi is definitely hitting the right notes in Nigeria.
Whether you fat or whether you thin, and no matter the color where you get for your skin, just the move and get in the music. Whether you fat or whether you thin, and no matter the color where you get for your skin.
What did you think about this week's show? If you have any comments or questions or suggestions, you can check out our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, or send an email to the address on your screen.
That's it for this week's show, but Crystal and Jeff will be joining you next week with... We'll be heading to Uganda
and Swaziland, then finally to Liberia, where we meet the motorcyclist we promised you last week.
From me, Mashare Maina, and my friends Crystal and Jeff.
And me, Alexandria Majala, and the entire Africa General team.
See you next week.
The Esukmba market was a focal point in the era of slave trade. It was a delivery point for slaves shipped out of the country through the point of no return, a bush track behind the market. This local market is not like others where money is the only means of exchange for goods and services. What distinguishes this one is the act of trade by barter, a practice held in high esteem. The market also prides itself as one of the very few in Africa where barter is still observed.
Our people, in fact the world, acknowledges trade by barter as a system of interaction and livelihood of the ancient times. But here, barter system protects the people, and that is why it has survived the centuries even till today. And in that area, there is stability of what you could call currency, in quote, even though you don't see printed paper that they say is currency.
The market, which holds every Saturday, attracts farmers from neighboring communities who come with their farm produce to exchange them for what they do not have but need at the moment. Items commonly exchanged are vegetables, fruits, seafoods, and other food crops.
Anything you have here, even okra, I get fish, you will give me that okra, and I give you my crayfish or fish. If you get something, if you get cassava, We here they get crayfish. We change it. That is spread by butter.
What did you bring in exchange of what you're getting now?
I brought okra.
Most times, the measure of exchangeable goods is of little concern. What matters most is the value and need at the moment.
What we are bringing here, this pop-up, when we want to sell it, it could be like 15 naira. But when we want to change it, they think that they will give us it will more better than the money that we want to sell it.
Only very few use money as a means of exchange, especially those from the city.
Do you sell or you exchange?
No, I'm selling.
You're selling. Why don't you do exchange?
No, I cannot do that.
Why?
I'm not from this side. The people from this side knows how to do it. Not every market being like this market, and not everybody knows the need of this market, except the people that comes to the market, we know the need of it. We need government to grade this market, to make it bigger so that people knows the market quite all right.
We have that wonderful, I must call it wonderful thing, still going on. It remains as a relic, but most importantly, it now becomes part of the tourism attraction to the place.
Maybe this is a true picture of a cashless society, but whether it is or not, one fact one can't leave out is that these traders are happy doing what seemed to be a legacy for centuries.
So glad you could join us again on News Track. I'm Melinda Akinlami, and these are the stories and reports we're tracking at this hour. We'll begin with politics. As the crisis rocking the PDP lingers and parties work on resolving the issues, the Cross River State Governor and the member of the Reconciliation Committee, Leah Limoke, says the grievances of the breakaway group are motivated by self-interest. Governor Imoke noted that the crisis is not in the interest of anyone and that the rift is all about the elections in 2015. The governor said this during an interview with our political correspondent, Seun Okinbaloye, in the state capital, Calabar.
Well, I think that whatever it is that are their grievances, they should be managed within the context of our platform, the PDP. I don't think it makes sense to try to create a faction out of the PDP. I don't know, it's not in anyone's interest. Quite frankly, it's definitely not in their interest. And yes, I'd admit that it's not in our interest. So whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? There are different ways of expressing your grievances. But I think that there's also a lot of 2015 in this grievance. As part of that committee that has interacted with them and understood their grievances, we've actually found reasonable accommodation at all levels. So it's now for us to continue that process to a point where we actually get a reintegration. So yes, they have grievances which have been listed.